Hi, it's me, your boy. Hello and welcome to me talking about the Path of Exile Expedition. And yeah, my brief review of it and how I found it, how I liked it. We're just gonna talk about the league itself, not like the update. You know, I don't wanna like sit here for an hour and talk about, okay, I didn't like this update on this item because it just ruined my build. Damn you, GGG. I don't care. Expedition was released in mid-July and ran until mid-October 2021. That is the current year you're living right now. If you're watching this in the future, please comment down below. Is COVID gone? Can we go outside now? So the first impressions from the first week. How was it? Well, as always, you know, I start the new content. I instantly try it out. I go to the first area. I'm excited to see, you know, the NPCs. I listen to them. I have all my sounds on and I don't get distracted by anything else, you know, like lo-fi music in the background, you know. I know you weeps like you're lo-fi. I don't care. I'm in the game and I want to see and hear the new content. So that's how I play. That also means, you know, with my later on evasion dodge build, yeah, you can right click W, I don't care. I died a couple times, I guess, you know. I think even in the footage that I recorded that you can see, I'm pretty sure I died once or twice. Daniel, edit this out in the post.
Your life has been one long lie.
So yeah, with most things that are new, you know, I was exciting, it was different, but it also felt quite familiar because it had this little bit of Blight feeling, to me at least. You know, it felt a little bit like Blight, so that was good because a completely new mechanic that no one has ever seen, you know, is pretty difficult, I think, to bring new people in, right? It like puts people off, people test it, be like, wow, that's really weird and that's really different, and I kind of don't like it, you know, and then people start, well, not playing the game and you're dropping out. So it's good to add familiar mechanic, but with a new twist, a new something else, right? There's usually a lot more things than just that's it, right? There's so much more with the league mechanic. One of it is the artifacts. I still have PTSD, dude. So introducing more and more NPCs and more lore as you go along felt good. Logbooks were really made to push the lore ahead, so that's kind of a little bit of a like a it's gated behind the logbooks, right? If you really want to know more about the lore, and I think there were like different stories they wrote on how they traveled to Rayclust and what happened to Rayclust. That's briefly what I understood from the story. I didn't read everything, I know, I suck. It's a bit annoying because, keep in mind, they're behind logbooks. Logbooks were quite rare, and getting them, you might get them, or maybe you don't, and that kind of sucks, right? So for the people who don't play a lot, or are just unlucky, they couldn't experience the full lore. So I hope they can maybe like pull the lore out of these contents and just put them into the game or in some way, right, in the future. Who knows? Artifacts. Artifacts, yeah. Overall, artifacts are a good idea. I don't dislike them. How they were implemented, I kind of dislike. Because you get rewards from doing that content, and for this type of NPC, right? You help Danik, you get stuff for Danik. You know, you have like 4 NPCs, you know, Danik, Gwenin, Tujen, and Rog, and you get artifacts for each of them, right? So one artifact only works for Danik, but not for Gwenin, and that's blah, 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 etc. So it was good, right? You just either get raw currency directly from Tujen, and Gwenin gave you like a little bit of gambling thing. You might get a rare or a unique that really is nice. Or you can go to Danik and be like, okay, I don't really need your artifacts, or I can use your artifacts to get artifacts of other people. That's pretty cool. So you can choose more or less. And ROG actually implemented good crafting. I love it. I'm still gonna use ROG for the like the big first couple weeks. I will use ROG and be like, okay, my gloves still suck ass. You know, I still need like a good evasion base, and I still need like proper modifiers on it. Yeah, I just go to ROG, right? I do the expedition and I can probably craft it a little bit with ROG, so that's good. That's really nice, and good on them to implement ROG, and then later on also kind of telling you how stuff changes with crafting with him. So people kind of get introduced to this whole prefix, suffix thing, right? Because there are like 3 modifiers that are prefixed and 3 other modifiers that are suffixed. New players will be like, I don't know what that is, right? But with ROG, you slowly introduce that to new people. So that is +1 there, you know. You get a you have a EP point. I don't know. So the problem with all these artifacts is just sadly, as always, you know, gotta pick them up. You just have to pick them up, right? There's so many artifacts, so many different expeditions, every single instance, map, whatever you want to call it. And it's just, it gets a bit much, or it got a bit much for me. And thankfully, they're addressing this in Scourge 3.16. I'm recording this on a Monday on the 25th of October, which means Scourge is out. We have already experienced the new expedition. It feels good. It has not been buffed though, as far as I see. So that means you still get the same amount of artifacts, but you don't see expedition every single map. So you definitely can do, you will do less stuff with expedition, which is kind of understandable, right? Because you don't want to like force people to play this type of content so much, because there's like so much other stuff they should be doing, right? So it's like a little mini thing, and after maybe every week you're gonna check to Gwenin and be like, can I get something from you? Or go to Hujin and, you know, gamble and be like, can I get an Exalt? Something like this you probably do like every week or something, unless you farm it, of course. By the way, you can also farm expedition now, because there are those little rusted expedition scarabs, right? Like you have different scarabs for expedition now, and so you can really force it if you wanted to. I'm not sure what the gilded scarabs do. I'm guessing maybe some sort of like increased chance to do logbooks. So that's pretty cool, I guess. So if you really want to just do logbooks all day, I guess that's your way to do it, right? One thing that irked me a little bit more at the first week, we're still talking about the first week, more or less. On another note, if you're going faster or playing like a fast build, expedition just feels quite slow and tedious, right? If you have a really speedy build on purpose, you're like, dude, I don't care about bossing. I want a speedy mapper, you know, I just want to run through, kill everything, poggers. Dude, you're gonna hate expedition, bro, because you can just, you can't just run through like in Delirium, Beasts, Alva especially, Delve is also like kind of a speedy build. Like, there's so much content that you can kind of speed through, but then there's Blight, Expedition, and Ritual, for example, also kind of, I guess, where you have to stop. You have to stand still, do this, that's it. Screw you, buddy. Anyway, so that's kind of like a little bit of a, you know, like I've realized this very early on. I'm like, oh, is this what I'm gonna do the next 3 months? Every single map? Yikers. We're gonna time skip, you know, like in anime, you know, on those Japanese cartoons. We're gonna do a little time skip. We're gonna skip ahead in time. Anyways, 1 month into the league, I did all the content from every NPC all the time. You know, I didn't care who it was. I was like, Gwenin, I will do you. Okay, I'm not gonna say that joke. So I did all of it, right? I found a lot of artifacts quite passively, right? You just do the content. You kind of like turn your brain off at some point, and you just do it, right? And then I went on a gambling spree. So I just went to, like, after a week, or I don't know, what did I write? Maybe after a week or some time, you're like, okay, I haven't turned those artifacts into something yet, right? They're still in this locker, in this chest. They're just rotting away. I mean, they're stones, they're not rotting. Anyways, and so I was like, okay, let's do this. And then I went to Gwenin, and then Rock, and then Tujin, and then Daddy, you know, and turned all those artifacts into something that I can maybe use. Chaos Orbs, stack decks, items that I might be selling. And I think I actually sold a couple for like 10, 20, 30 C, right? Sometimes you get lucky with Rock, and the rolls and everything. Gwenin, I think, was completely useless. That's cool. And then I realized I have been doing this for an hour or more. And I'm like, wait, what? Nani? That was quite, I wouldn't say tedious. You know, I like that, right? It's literally just going shopping, pretty much. It's pretty much like that. Okay, what do you have? That, this, that, yeah, please. You know, it's like, it's pretty cool. It's pretty fun. It is just, yeah, it takes an hour or something, right? Previously it took an hour. Now, of course, in Scourge 3.16, it won't take you an hour, probably. Depends on if you farm it, of course. And keep in mind, that was without all the logbooks I've been getting, right? Like, maybe I had like, I don't know, like 4 or 6 logbooks at that point, like 1 month in, I don't know. And I was like, okay, I spent like an hour or more now to do, you know, turn these artifacts around, but I still haven't done the logbooks, which take even longer, I feel like, more or less. Take some planning, take some killing, take some looting, and then probably also, again, turning those artifacts back into loot again, because you get a lot of artifacts for the logbooks as well. So it's like, it's kind of like a little cycle there, right? So 1 month in now, right? Picking up artifacts, left, right, and center. Help. It got quite annoying, right? By having to stop in the map, then having to do the content. You can't do it like while doing other stuff. Then you have to pick up the artifacts. And then you have the whole thing of those enemies were quite difficult, right? They are not just blast through them, right? It's like a beast content sometimes. Some beasts you don't care about, and then there's this one stupid piece of spider that just nearly insta-shots you, or insta-shots you, you know, depends on your chaos res. But I mean, you know, we softcore Andes. I mean, minus 60% chaos res is fine, right? That's normal. Right? Every hardcore player cries right now. It's like, no, stop, please. So what I'm talking about is, so you get those artifacts from the map, right? That just means it's delayed reward, because those artifacts are worthless, kind of. You have to turn them in. I mean, of course, you can trade them with other players, but we're not going to talk about that. So you have those artifacts now. You did the content. Now, to get the actual loot, you got to go to the NPCs. So that's kind of what I didn't like 1 month in, because it's just delayed reward. I didn't get my reward. I have to go somewhere else to get my reward. After I did play the thingy, right? I don't like that. So about delayed rewards, that's why I liked actual Ultimatum, you know, because Ultimatum gave you the reward right away. Like, you can do the wave, you get the reward. I love that. That's also why I dislike Ritual, because it is, again, delayed reward. The thing is, though, I don't want to, like, open this can, you know, of worms right now, but delayed reward in Path of Exile is fine. I personally don't like it, but I think it's a good idea. If you can wait for your reward, and there is a chance you get something better, perfect. You know, that's a good system. You get something better if you wait a couple maps, or maybe a lot of maps, instead of getting the reward right now, but it's not so good. I'm totally fine with two separate systems that either give you the reward right away and shower you in loot, or like about less valuable loot, or way better loot, potentially, with a delayed reward. I'm absolutely fine with both systems, and they should be in Path of Exile. I just personally don't like the reward, delayed one. It's just, So we're now, I don't know, maybe 1.5 months, close to maybe 2 months into a league, around that. So I stopped playing the content by now, okay? I completely ignored Expedition by now. I just ran past everything. I was just focusing on what I wanted to do. I started getting into kind of like a farming mode, right? Like understanding how to farm. Thanks to Balamage, by the way, for helping me out. Kind of like opening my eyes on, oh, I can use the Atlas passives and the Watchstone to force content and make currency? Whoa, dude, that's boggers. Okay, so yeah. Anyways, stopped playing the content maybe for 1 or 2 weeks. And then I was like, okay, oh, man, it feels so bad not doing the, you know, the league content in the league. So I looked it up and I was like, okay, what's the best way to, you know, what are the best NPCs that I can use, you know, or because there are 4 NPCs, which one should I do? Tujen and Danik, because Tujen for currency, Danik for the logbooks, and I was like, all right, time to do that again, you know. So I did that, I guess, got more currency, got a couple logbooks, right? And I like the logbooks because they're very juicy and rewarding. I love doing them. It's like putting on the goddamn boots, you know, the metal boots in The Legend of Zelda. It's like in the middle of a map, it's like, boof, you're here now for the next 1 minute. It's like, complete halt from whatever you have been doing. It's a bit annoying, but yeah, okay. Did I enjoy doing it at that point, you know, doing Tujen and Danik? Yeah and no. Like I said, you know, being halted kind of sucks, but I have to say it also was me as a player. I did the wrong thing. I played the wrong build for this type of content. I played an evasion dodge build against expedition mobs. They're absolutely disgustingly difficult, potentially, depending on what you explode, of course. and I just got one shot sometimes, and that just doesn't feel good, right? So don't play those builds for Expedition. I feel like that's the worst thing you can do, unless you maybe are, I don't know, you're off-screening everything, I don't know. But even off-screening, like sometimes those projectiles just shoot out right away when they like come out of the ground. They shoot right away towards you, and you're dead. It's like, it was ridiculous sometimes. So I didn't like it because of that. But other than that, it was okay, right? It wasn't like, it wasn't bad. So at the end of the league, I think the last week or two again, you know, I stopped playing it completely because, you know, I was trying to push the content. And yeah, as said, I like the gambling, I like the logbooks, I like the bosses. Jesus Christ, I haven't talked about the bosses at all. But, yeah, the bosses kind of made me push towards doing more Expedition at some point, definitely. When I realized, okay, I only did like 2 bosses and there are 2 more, and I was like, okay, I gotta do more logbooks, I gotta do more Expedition, I really want to see and fight them. And I did. I fought every single one of them, I won against every single one of them, sometimes even multiple times, and I'm really happy I did it. And yeah, the bosses are amazing. Absolutely amazing. Some of them are, you know, a little bit less epic, and some of them are like, Jesus Christ, like they took time to make those bosses. Like, love it. So, will I play Expedition in 3.16? Yes, I will. Because now they changed it that it's automatically, you know, it's auto pickup, so that's poggers. That's great. And as a player, as I said earlier, I learned I cannot play a glass cannon anymore. This is just not working out. This is not the playstyle I like. It just feels awful dying. I don't want to die. It will definitely happen because that's Path of Exile, you know. You gotta get kicked in the balls once in a while to, you know, to realize, oh, okay, whatever I'm doing is not the perfect way or is not right. I gotta learn, I gotta become better, and that's fine, right? Especially when you're pushing content. Like, at some point, you're like, Tier 3, nothing kills me. Tier 15, I die constantly. Okay, so now at some point you gotta start learning, okay, there's something wrong with my build. So that's good. I'm fine with that. And we also have more defense now, so that's perfect. As said, Scourge is already happening. I've been playing it. I've been streaming it, by the way. Plug. Watch the stream. Blah, blah, blah. It just feels good. More defense feels so good. You have more evade. Or evade has like more... It is worth more. You feel that. You have more evade chance. It's just good, you know. And even Expedition doesn't feel too harsh anymore with my build now. It's good. It's good. I will definitely play it. I am playing it. It's fun. It's just a little bit weird not getting more artifacts for the content I'm doing, because I will have to do triple the amount of content now. It feels like triple the amount of Expedition to have what I had before. And I'm like, that doesn't feel good. That ain't feeling good, man. In conclusion, Expedition is a great addition to the game, and having it come back instead of Perandus in 3.16 is just good. Perandus doesn't add nearly enough as Expedition, so swapping out is a good way of improving the game. Bringing in new and better systems with better visuals, music, and long-term quality by removing older, outdated systems that feel like a relic of the past that survived a bit too long in this ever-growing game that we call Path of Gambling. I totally didn't read this off my script right now. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Outro time, yay! Thanks for watching, by the way, so far. If you enjoyed this video, as always, you know, look at that like button, like really stare at it, like, okay. And then, you know, subscribe maybe, you know, if you want to see more content like this. And as always, check out my streams if you wanted to, you know, if you want to see more Scourge content, Scourge gameplay. I'm streaming Path of Exile every Thursday. Link down below. There's a schedule and all, you know, you know how to use the internet, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Hope you enjoyed this review, and see you all in 3 months when I do a Scourge review. I'm kidding, okay, bye.